Welcome, everybody. It is now 4 o'clock and we will resume after closed session. Do you need to do the roll call vote or roll call
Yes.
attendance?
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Here.
Councilmember Kelly,
Here.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Here.
Councilmember Truby,
Here.
Mayor Quintanilla,
Present.
and Councilmember Kelly, could you please state for the record the reason for your need to remote participate?
Yes, I am recovering from a seasonal illness.
And is there anyone over the age of 18 present with you where you're meeting?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this point, we will continue to the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Nastandi. Please stand if you are able.
Please join as on flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. It stands.
Thank you, everyone. We are, as council members, are always very busy, but it seems like the last 2 weeks have been extra busy with a lot of things going on. And I think the best way to summarize it is community. And community may mean different things to different people, but for me, it's a sense not just of the buildings in a city or the people that live within it, but the way that we interact, the way that we support one another, and the way that we unite to move forward towards a common good. So I appreciate every single one of you that are here as active members of the community, to those that are watching online, to those that will watch later. I appreciate you being a member of our community, encourage you to get involved in our committees, our commissions, and keep making our city a great place to be. I stand here in gratitude with all of you to be a member of this community. Thank you. Mr. City Manager, do we have, or excuse me, or City Attorney, do we have a report from closed session?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This afternoon in closed session, the City Council unanimously authorized staff and the City Attorney to pursue abatement of public nuisance conditions on real property known as Site B of the property formerly known as the Executive Course at Palm Desert Country Club and now owned by Villas PD LLC. The council's authorization includes actions including but not limited to recording any necessary notices and liens against the property, obtaining inspection and or abatement warrants to abate unlawful stockpiling of dirt or other materials on the property, and any necessary cost recovery actions related thereto.
Thank you very much. Do we have any awards, presentations, or appointments?
No, Madam Mayor.
Moving along, City Manager comments.
Thank you, Mayor. Got three things I'd like to address. I'd first of all like to start off by recognizing and congratulating our Finance Director, Veronica Chavez, and her team for recently receiving the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Award. I think this is the first time that Palm Desert's ever received that award. So just a great recognition of all the work that was done by her and her staff. I would also like to invite Sean Muir up if I could to address. We did receive a couple of questions in the packet today regarding pickleball court issues at the Civic Center. I just wanted to ask her to give it just a very brief overview to the public and the council as far as what we are doing and how she's working to resolve those issues.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council, Sean Muir, Community Services Manager, and just wanted to brief you on how things are going at the new pickleball courts at Civic Center Park. There were 12 courts that were opened this summer after converting 3 tennis courts at Civic Center Park. So the courts have been really enjoyed by the community. We've heard a lot of different suggestions, and I've been taking calls and meeting with active pickleball players in the community to try to conform the pickleball courts to something that works for all the players that we have here in the community. Some of those have been adding pickleball holders to queue up the next people in line to play, adding numbers to the courts, adding guidelines and rules for play. And so we've been working with individuals and instructors, and again, with our recreation partners on developing these adjustments. So currently, there's a system in which players place their paddles up against the fence, and when a court becomes available or open, they can then go up and play. There's one line that's queued up, and so some of that has caused confusion with the renovation of the community center. The community center is now under renovation, and in it, they used to have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced designated court. So moving those players outside while the community center is being renovated, they're having to adjust to this different system of play. So to kind of quell those concerns, we're looking at having a staff person from Desert Recreation District out there in the mornings during the busy times, designating certain courts for certain levels of play. And hopefully that will help those who really want to play with the same skill level as them to get on a court with like individuals. So it's an ongoing process, but just want to make sure that you're aware that we're working with the community on it and with our recreation partners.
Thank you. I know that has a lot of engagement, so I appreciate you finding a way to meld it all together with those recommendations.
Absolutely.
And I will turn the mic over to Andrea Staley, our HR manager, to talk about our recent autism training.
All right. Well, good afternoon, Madam Mayor and honorable council members. Andrea Staley, the HR manager here for the city of Palm Desert. So I am thrilled to be sharing that the employees at the city are autism certified. And so that makes City of Palm Desert a certified autism center. So that's really important, and we're really proud of that. So I just want to mention that the city of Palm Desert is the first municipality in Coachella Valley, the first municipality in the state of California, and the second municipality in the nation to receive this certification. It's pretty impressive, and we're pretty excited about it. So what it is, it's designated by the IBCCES, and why we wanted to do it is because it shows a commitment to provide services for everyone. It enhances our capability to interact and serve our community guests and our employees. And we're joining the Greater Palm Springs Initiative to become a certified autism destination. So those are the reasons why we did it. Wanted to mention, go ahead. What we did is all employees received an autism and sensory awareness training. Supervisors then received an additional training for the autism certificate training, and then department leaders and HR received the neurodiversity professional training. So those are the different trainings that we had in order to receive this designation. And in order for us to be a certified organization, at least 80% of our employees would have to complete the training and then pass a test that had multiple questions. And I'm happy to announce that we have exceeded that 80%. We're at that 90% level. This certification is a 2-year certification, and it also gives us resources that we can use as well. So last but not least, I know, and you all know, that obviously this could not be done without the city's employees. I cannot thank them enough for their work and commitment to this training. So in addition to everything else that we're doing for our community, they took on this training and they took on this challenge with enthusiasm. I think that they completed it so quickly that the organization was like, oh, you're ready to do a press release now? We weren't ready for you guys. So that's how enthusiastic they were. So thank you to the employees. Without them, this couldn't be done. And that concludes my presentation.
This is truly a monumental opportunity to show that we are an inclusive community. And I've shared with people that it's the education to know that autism is not just children, that it is adults, that neurodiversity requires a lot of different ways to interact. And as someone who has 3 nephews with autism, I know how difficult travel can be. And to know someone is going to give you that extra space, that extra patience instead of judgment is great. To know that we are leading and we continue to be trailblazers is a big, big honor to be part of the city that has accomplished that. So again, thank you to each of you. And to know that now we're at 90% is even more impressive. So let's polish up those gold stars and keep on going. Do we have any council member reports, requests for action?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you. It's been a busy start to the new year, I can tell you. Lots of events to go to, some with my colleagues, and it's been a pleasure to work alongside all of you at these various functions and things. I'll highlight just a couple. I attended my very first, I'm on the, or the alternate liaison to the Children's Discovery Museum of the Desert. And it was a good timing for me because they're set to reopen March 25th of this year after several years off. And not only are they reopening, but they're reopening with a several $1 million remodel and upgrade. And it's going to be a totally new museum. And it's really, really exciting. And it just, again, another amenity for our residents and visitors alike. I'm really, really looking forward to. So look forward to that, March 25th. If you have any young kids, or even you might want to go check it out yourself. It's a lot of fun, great facility, and very proud to be associated with that. The YMCA had the board meeting today, and a couple reports there. First, they are going to begin their sustaining campaign on March 8th. They're going to kick it off. They have a stated goal of raising $300,000. These are just for operation costs. They do so much good work here in the Coachella Valley with after-school programs and everything else. So I hope we can all support that. There's going to be a kickoff at Wilma and Frida's on February 8th, which is a Thursday. And then, of course, you got to start breaking out the checkbooks and supporting the YMCA. And also with the YMCA, sorry, they're going to send a flag. Their under 10 flag football team is going to Orlando because they won a regional event. And they qualified to send 9 of their athletes to Orlando to participate in the Pro Bowl festivities that are going on next weekend. So they're going to leave Tuesday, represent our Coachella Valley YMCA. And so you can look forward to that. I think they're going to be featured at halftime and national TV. And so that's a big feather in their cap. And they certainly earned it and going to represent our valley very, very well. So that's exciting news. And last but not least, I was honored to attend the gala, the Phoenixia Gala of the Year, and they called it the Gala of the Year, and it was an incredible event. It's an organization that serves adults and actually teenagers of 16 and above with intellectual and development disabilities. This was a chance, almost, I think in the past it had been sort of a prom type event. It still had that kind of a feel, but several hundred people attended Palm Valley Country Club that evening, and I got to tell you 2 things. First, I've always said that the measure of a compassionate society is when they can, a society that takes care of those who can't take care of themselves. And that was on full display that evening. It was just a beautiful, beautiful event. And number 2, if you're ever feeling down about current events or things going on in the world and you think the world's going to heck in a handbasket, I would suggest you just go out and look for these type of events because they're everywhere. People are doing such good work all over the Coachella Valley. And it was really a beautiful thing to be a part of. I mean, we're so blessed to have the Phoenixia Foundation here in the Valley, Desert Arc, Variety Club, United Cerebral Palsy. I mean, there's just so many people doing such beautiful work. And if you look for it, it's out there. So that was a real honor. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Truby. Madam Pro Tem.
Really inspired me. A couple things. I do want to mention that I was able to attend the Living Desert along with Councilmember Kelly with the opening or the kind of groundbreaking for the splash pad in the new dining area, really expanding and doing great things. And once again, with all our youth, it's a great place to learn about education, conservation, and preservation, and they're doing a great job. And the number of young people who visit is growing so rapidly, and all the things that you were talking about is a perfect illustration of that also. We also were able to go to the Eisenhower cardiology. It was a demo and it was great. And our mayor spoke there. It was great watching them demo that building. I got great pleasure out of that. But they're building a 40,000 square foot cardiology care center. That is another great asset of our community. And then it was Councilmember Kelly, Truby, and our mayor again, who spoke at the groundbreaking for the Eisenhower Child Care Center and the Memory Care Center as well, which was great. It's great news that that's coming to our desert, and it's well needed. One of the things we talk about is the child care crisis, because we have so many children, and the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, they are busting at the seams, and these are great things when we see this happen to accommodate those needs. The other thing, I came back, I have the Riverside County Transportation Commission annual workshop today and tomorrow. So I only got to attend about half of it today, but I will be back tomorrow morning. We did talk about the CV rail, and it's exciting. And I had mentioned at a prior meeting that it was adopted by the FRA, which makes it part of the federal rail plan, but also makes it eligible to receive federal funds. And we have to thank Congressman Calvert for bringing funds and also arranging meeting after meeting with Union Pacific so that we can get this done, because that's critically important for us to get this rail to the Coachella Valley. The good news is we have finally accumulated enough funds to start the Tier 2 environmental process for the train. And we're excited about that. We'll probably go out, Riverside County Transportation Commission will go out for an RFP to have somebody do that Tier 2 environmental process in the next few months. But it's finally moving after really working at this for literally decades. But this last 5 years, we've really seen some progress for this train. So we're excited about it. And as I always say when I talk about the train, there will be a point where we're going to ask you to have your voices heard about how important this is. And it will be during the Tier 2 environmental process. Or that will be the next time. There'll be plenty more. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kelly.
Thank you. A short while ago, I requested that staff provide us with an overview of the Cotina development in Rancho Mirage and its possible impacts on our residents. And in our study session earlier today, staff gave us a very thorough and detailed presentation about that topic. I know some residents have the habit of tuning into these open sessions. If that topic is of interest to you, please be sure to go to the agenda page on the website and check out the video of today's study session. It was the third of 3 topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, lots of things that I was able to attend from a valley-wide celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at La Quinta High School, a Cove Communities Public Safety with Councilmember Truby, and let's see, sessions on the library. I encourage absolutely every one of you to take a moment and look at the features and options of what's ahead. We need your input to make it as best and strong as possible. And Councilmember Truby, Mayor Pro Tem Harnick, and I were at a youth and government session last night, which was great to hear from the students and the bills that they're proposing. It was great to interact with them. I really enjoyed that. And let's see, yesterday I attended an event where Mesquite Court, the community, went and renamed. They went back to their original name of Kings Point, and they were very proud to see all of the work that they had done and to display they're the city's 10th official historic landmark. So it was great to see again engaged members of the community, right? We're not just buildings and homes and we are the people that create this. And most proudly, I am, we have Olive Crest that opened recently. And for those of you that don't know of Olive Crest, it's a organization that started 50 years ago with a family that took in 3 teenage girls that were in foster care. It has evolved to have helped thousands of families, and Olive Crest has been in the Coachella Valley for over 20 years. And they offer crisis services, counseling, and more than you can imagine to be able to support families with kids in the foster care system or at risk of going there. So take a moment, if you haven't heard of them, if you know a family that may be in crisis that could benefit from their services. And I'm proud that they have chosen Palm Desert as their home in the center of the valley to offer all of these. So anybody think of anything else that was left out? Okay. After that, do we have any non-agenda public comments online?
For those on Zoom, if you want to participate in public comment, please click the raise hand button on your computer or smartphone. If you're joining in by calling in on your phone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. And when called upon, press *6 to unmute yourself. And please keep your comments to no more than 3 minutes and begin by stating your name for the record. And Madam Mayor, at this moment, I do not have any raised hands.
Thank you very much. We will now go to our comment cards. If I can please have Mr. David Bryant step forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor Quintanilla, and to the Palm Desert City Council. In the 2020 census, we learned that Palm Desert has a resident population that is 48% older than the average U.S. population. Driving around this lovely city in season, we notice a lot of senior visitors joining us from out of town. That boosts our average age even more. But we know these visitors are welcome and all good for the local economy, but not very good for safety on our streets. Let's look at the road hazard known as CV Link. As an unpleasant memory, CV Link has matured and been in place for a few years. It's easy to notice virtually no cyclists using it in this glorious weather. And from May to September, it's too hot for all but a few stalwarts at dawn, if ever, pedaling on it. Specifically at the point where Portola, heading south, crosses Magnesia Falls to make a right turn west from the right lane onto Magnesia Falls, and doing what you would do as a driver anywhere, that is staying in the right lane, would send your car into the ugly makeshift concrete barrier and its equally ugly post sticking up from it. CV Link doing its empty work. At Parkview, heading east toward Fred Waring, we find another clear hazard, a permanent white steel sign defining the choices in the 3 lanes for drivers. Aha, the right lane is marked for turning right. That's logical across California and America. Not at that intersection in Palm Desert. The right lane is blocked for cars. The sign is in physical disagreement with the ugly CV Link hazard. The right lane is for invisible bicyclists to the right of another ugly barrier and those ugly posts. Yes, it's another hazard for drivers. When the sun comes up tomorrow, I hope that you as council members will drive Fred Waring south to its terminus at Painter's Path, right by Mahler's Nursery. My second aha, an unforgivable, unfathomable mess of barriers as a dangerous foundation for more of those ugly poles. I remember the unpleasantness and nonsensical justifications for the now completed and unused empty eyesore that CV Link has become. It would save the planet or something. A few loud cyclists gain sway over the anti-environment, selfish people driving, heaven forbid, cars. I love this desert. I love driving around in it. I appreciate our senior demographics. This empty and hazardous bike trail is a tribute to a marketing campaign built on bad data and a non-existent population of hip, rebellious futurists on bicycles. Palm Desert City Council members, tear down that hazardous CV Link. I thought that was a pretty funny finish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bryant. Almost right on the dot.
Yeah, I
Can,
timed it a few times at home.
there you go. Good practice. Okay, if I can please have Miss Barbara Wasserkrug step forward.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Did you know that we are the residents in Palm Desert are living in a 15-minute smart city? You may ask, what is a 15-minute smart city? A smart city is part of an agenda for world domination that is a real and imminent danger that will lock up humanity inside an open-air concentration camp. A smart city is an urban development with omnipresent surveillance and data harvesting technologies that will monitor and record even the most intimate and personal details of all of us. You may think that sounds unbelievable, but I will cite a few examples of what has already been implemented right here in Palm Desert under the guise of, quote, safety and security, quote, saving energy, quote, for the best interest of the community. Number one, surveillance cameras of all kinds, stationary, mobile, inside and outside buildings, inside and outside of our homes, in the skies, and along all of our streets and intersections. Number two, radar surveillance speed cameras. Number three, weaponized surveillance LED lights along our streets, throughout all of the parking lots, inside buildings, inside and outside our schools, inside stores, and inside our homes. Number four, hundreds of thousands of weaponized surveillance low orbit satellites all throughout our skies that monitor our movement and collect our data 24/7. Five, discouraging the use of cars with promotion of bicycle paths and walking for our 15-minute smart cities, where we will eventually only be allowed to travel within those boundaries without being penalized or worse, along with additional installation of no parking signs, limited time parking spaces, expensive gasoline, promotion of EVs that in themselves are full of sensors and surveillance cameras. Number six, 5, 6, and 7G technology, which allows all of the technology currently in place to communicate, collect, and store data and emit very harmful radiation into our environment and our bodies to make us sick. Number seven, militarized law enforcement presence, including helicopters constantly surveilling our entire surroundings that have capabilities to zoom into our backyard. And if they want to, they can scan the smallest objects of interest and listen to our conversations. Additionally, they will have drone programs that play a very large part of surveilling us and will be used to control our behavior. Thank you. If you have any questions or would like to know where my information came from, I'd be happy to supply that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I please have Ms. Nancy Gutierrez step forward?
Okay, good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. I want to add to what the last speaker was talking about. I am completely against smart cities. I'm against this redistricting plan, whatever you want to call it, because it pretty much models what's going on in Oxford, England. It's what's going on in Canada right now, where they're starting these 15-minute cities. And if you look at the Millennial Project, you will find the same similar plans like England and Canada. Every single small business owner is going to go broke. Maybe not now, but it's in baby steps, or, warm the water for the frogs kind of thing. 15-minute cities destroy small businesses, destroy mobility, destroys people's ability to just live their life as they want. Looking through the Millennium Development Project, I just jotted down some quotes. I quoted some stuff here. If you look at programs 4, 5, 5A, 5B, page 38, just like England and Canada. Let me see, sorry. Policy 4, here it is in quotes, coordinate mass transit shuttle service, which is a great thing, but people should have a choice. The general plan shall create and maintain a diversified transportation system that minimizes vehicle miles traveled. Programs 5A, in quotes here, desirable alternatives to motor vehicle traffic. Lots of euphemisms tend to be the opposite of what they really mean. And encourages. Encourages does not mean a settled nudge. Encouragement is a fine, something to make it really hard for someone to do something. So I would use a different word than encourage. Encourages transit use and NEV participation. When you look at NEV, it stands for Neighborhood Electric Vehicle Access, low-speed vehicles. Okay, in addition, the project will increase transit frequency to reduce the number of passenger vehicle trips. Again, that should be someone's choice. This is only part of what I read so far. Some other things, shared parking is encouraged. Joint use parking shall not exceed 50% of the required spaces of any uses involved. So I guess you can only have 50% cars being able to park. I see sustainability plan encouraging non-vehicle travel. These pedestrian connections must be dedicated to pedestrian and bike access only. Okay. So overall, I'm very, very nervous about what you're doing. I don't want to lose my car. I'd like to see my parents and drive out of town. I'd like to have my freedom. I hope you will reconsider all of this. I think we need to
Thank you
step
very
back.
much, Ms. Gutierrez. I appreciate you. Do we have any additional comments online?
No, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. City Clerk. At this point, we transition to the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one motion. The public may comment on any items on the consent agenda within a 3-minute time limit. Individual items may be removed by the City Council for separate discussion. Do we have any online comments regarding calendars?
No public comment, Madam Mayor, but I would like to make one announcement. On item 13E, adoption of a resolution updating the community event sponsorship guidelines. Staff is recommending a modification. It's on page 67 of 209, part 8. And it says funds cannot be used for cash prizes, cash awards, salaries, salary reimbursements, or general budget subsidy. And the word venue cost was striked through, which would make that an eligible expense. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Move the consent calendar.
And a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Can we have a vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Truby,
Yes.
Mayor Quintanilla.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Having approved the consent calendar, we now move on to our action calendar. That was so quick. I got to find it now. Okay, first is in the action calendar, the public may comment on individual action items within the 3-minute time limit. Speakers may utilize one of the 3 options listed. Do we have any comments from the action calendar?
Not at this moment, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. So we will start with item 14A, Palm Desert Redistricting 2023, adoption of an ordinance establishing city council election district boundaries and scheduling election within the districts, and introduction of an ordinance eliminating the use of ranked choice voting. Can we have the report, please?
Honorable Mayor and City Council, I'm Anthony Mejia, City Clerk, and I'm joined by Shalise Tilton, Senior Consultant with National Demographics Corporation. To briefly summarize, on June 22nd, 2023, the City Council directed staff to take the necessary actions to transition to 5 single-member districts prior to the November 2024 election and to eliminate use of ranked choice voting for future City Council elections. As such, City staff facilitated 2 map drawing workshops, 3 community workshops, and 5 City Council public hearings on the redistricting process. A total of 9 maps were submitted, 6 by members of the public and 3 by the city's demographer. On January 11th, 2024, the City Council conducted the 5th and final public hearing and adopted map 109 renumbered B as the official district map for the city of Palm Desert. The City Council is now requested to finalize this action by adopting ordinance number 1406 entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Palm Desert, California, amending section 2.38.040 of the Palm Desert Municipal Code related to by-district elections, defining district boundaries and scheduling elections within the districts, and to introduce an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Palm Desert, California, repealing section 2.38.050 of Chapter 2.38 General Municipal Elections of Title II Administration and Personnel of the Palm Desert Municipal Code in order to eliminate ranked choice voting for the election of members of the City Council. On February 15th, City staff will submit a summary report on redistricting outreach, and as required by Elections Code 21130F, A report that explains the basis on which the city council made its decision in achieving compliance with the redistricting requirements and criteria. And I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? At this point, I will entertain a motion.
Move staff's recommendation for 14A.
I will second the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Trivy,
Yes.
Mayor Quintanilla.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 14B, introduction of an ordinance adding chapter 2.74 to Title II of the Palm Desert Municipal Code, establishing a municipal library for the city and making a finding of exemption under CEQA. Can we have the report, please?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of council. Gary Schaefer, Director of Library Services. Staff are here today to recommend the adoption of an ordinance to formally establish the city's municipal library. As you are aware, on June 8th, 2023, council appointed a library task force, and on October 12th, 2023, council voted to withdraw from the Riverside County Library System. With this ordinance, the city formally establishes the library for the betterment of Palm Desert. This action also signals the state of California, and particularly the California State Library, that we are officially establishing the municipal library, and we wish to be eligible for participation in their grant and other grant opportunities and other programs. This ordinance meets the legal requirements, designates the city council as the legislative body over library services and the library's budget, provides authority to the city manager and his designee to oversee this new service, and I am happy to answer any questions on this.
Do we have any questions?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
No, I'm excited for the library.
Same here. This is excellent. And thank you to everyone that worked on part of the library task force that has gotten us to this point, and staff and our attorneys that went through all of the wiggle space of how to make this happen. So thank you, everyone.
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Trivy,
Yes.
Mayor Quintanilla.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you all.
Item 14C, authorize the city manager to execute any and all documents necessary for the sale of 45656 Mountain View Avenue, Palm Desert.
Mayor, I'll have to recuse myself due to the proximity to my home.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem. Can we please continue, Mr. City Manager?
I'm sorry. We had never.
My apologies.
No problem. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and City Council. I'm Deborah Glickman, Management Analyst in the Economic Development Department. Currently, the city is in escrow for the property at 656 Mountain View. And in order to complete the escrow, the city manager needs to have approval to execute any and all documents. With this staff report, that approval would be granted to the city manager. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? Any comments? Entertain a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I will second the motion.
We have a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick is recused. Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Nistandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Trivy,
Yes.
Mayor Quintanilla.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. At this point, we'll move on to item 15, public hearings. The public may comment on individual public hearing items within the 3-minute time limit. The applicant or appellant will be provided up to 5 minutes to make the presentation. Speakers may utilize one of the 3 options listed on the first page of the agenda. Do we have any comments in regards to the public hearing?
No public comments at this time, Madam Mayor.
At this point, the public hearing is open.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Eric Sayad, Director of Economic Development. For your consideration tonight is an amendment to a development agreement between the city and Marriott Ownership Resorts. Next slide. Marriott Shadow Ridge is located in the northern part of Palm Desert along Monterey Avenue. That was approved in 1998 with the anticipation of 1,200 timeshares being built within this project, about half of which has been constructed to date. But a big part of that development agreement is payment of a facility fee, which ends in 2030. Right now, what we've heard from the Marriott Group, and the reason the amendment is here before you, is they do not anticipate building additional timeshare units on the remaining vacant portions, approximately 18 acres there shown on the east side of the property. And so an amendment here is before you to remove that 18 acres from the agreement that's currently in place. Next slide. By removing the 18 acres of the undeveloped parcels, this would allow them to sell that parcel to another developer, and there is developer interest to develop it for single-family homes. The city in exchange would receive payment once that property has transacted, and a separate entitlement application would come forward for that single-family home construction project. That completes our report. Myself and representatives from Marriott are available to answer questions.
Do we have any questions? I see Mayor Pro Tem.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. It's my understanding that some of these individual homes may be designated as short-term rentals in the future, so we will be able to capture some TOT revenue.
It's anticipated that that'll happen, but the project itself does have to go through a planning entitlement process. And so that'll all be discussed through the next round of public hearings for this development.
I saw your light on, so I thought that you had a question. No worries. I don't see any further questions or comments. Councilmember Kelly?
It seems to me the key here is that absent an amendment, the land will stay empty because of the lack of demand for timeshares, in which case it generates no revenue and serves no public purpose. So I commend staff for bringing this forward. And as soon as we have closed the public hearing, I will move the item.
Seeing no other comments, questions, and no interest online, I now close the public hearing. Entertain a motion. I believe that was,
And I'll second the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Harnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Nastandi,
Yes.
Councilmember Truppi,
Yes.
Mayor Quintanilla.
yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
At this point, do we have any information items? Okay, I will add one last thought. I had a great experience yesterday. I had a fourth grade student that wanted to make a visit to City Hall and find out how City Hall works and what the mayor does. And it was so very cute to see her here. And she told her big brother that she loves sitting in the mayor's big chair because I brought her in and showed her. So if you are watching, Miss Summer McCallum, I told you that I would mention your name. So if you're watching, it was a lot of fun. And so with that, I wish you all a wonderful day. Have a delightful rest of the week. Be well, be healthy, and thanks for being part of our community. We are now adjourned.